who are our elders? A lot of times we talk about, in our culture, we don't have an initiation for boys to become manhood. So in the 90s, I was very active with the men's conferences. Some of you know, led by Michael Meade and Robert Bly. And anyway, it was momentous things, those conventions. So at one point, we were talking about youth and elders and like that. So somebody said, well, who are our elders? And so next thing, they called for anybody who was over 60, any of the men there must have been maybe 300 men. Anyway, anybody who's over 60, come up and stand in the front. So as much 20, 30 men stood up there, and they were kind of awkwardly, somewhat embarrassed, but anyway, they stood up there and just stood. And they gazed at the audience. Some were real handsome and powerful, some had pot bellies, all the men there, but they just gazed at the audience, and it was a strange and wondrous moment. And they were matching their gaze with the essence of their being. And they stood there, and you can see on their faces, like, hey, they had survived wars and depressions and all kinds of betrayals and having to raise kids and going through recessions and all that, and it was all written in their face. And for a moment, it was just silence, everybody looking at everybody. And all of a sudden, all the men just broke out in huge applause. I mean, to be still existing after all those wars and depressions and betrayals and so on, showed that they were still going at it. They were still strong. In no way were they defeated, or they wouldn't even have been into one of these men's conferences. It was a really powerful affirmation of the power of elders. And as many of you know, many cultures, not our American culture, but indigenous cultures, I know my Chinese culture, we revere the elders. They are the ones with wisdom and all that. And here, of course, we're obsessed with youth, so we never get that full maturity that we're really capable of. So think about that next time. Like, instead of shunting off our elders into some assisted care and making them disappear because they're not productive anymore, no, in the other cultures, they welcome them back in their family. They let them share the wisdom. I mean, they have the time and the mental capacity to help the new generations and so on. So anyway, let's have a new respect for our elders.